perhaps.
Good evening. This is Interpolitica here in BMEUP 2025. We're here with the Commission on Foreign Affairs. My name is Humberto Pura, and I'm with Alba, one of our journalists, that will have a press conference with 3 MEPs from the Commission. Alba?
Thank you, Humberto. Well, good morning, deputies. My first question for this press conference is going to be for Renew. Your political party has turned out to have issues when it comes to solving citizens' struggles. In over 4 years, you have stopped being the first force in the Catalan parliament to step behind to a lower position. So Renew has taken pride in their migratory policies and attributing to this their high efficiency and good results. If this were so, my question is, how do you explain the significant loss of impact that your doctrine has had in every European country recently?
Thank you very much for your question. I would like to start by thanking you for all these statements. It is true that we have lost some of our past support, and I have to express the belief that I don't believe it's due to our quality of legislations or quality of proposals. I believe it's due to polarization and just changes in the global world, which are not, of course, in our hands to support. But I would like to answer your question about citizens, refugees, humanitarian cause, which is actually the topic that we've tackled today in the first session of our discussion. And I would just like to say that we emphasized on the importance of the European Union in relation not only within European borders, but also with our with the efforts we make politically to relate our legislations and our proposals to the United Nations. And in specific, on a specific note, we specifically talk about the United Nations Security Resolution Council from the Council resolution, specifically 2254, and it is specifically in relation to our not only political duty, but also moral responsibility to take actions and protect everybody within our borders, but also outside, because it's everything. Everything is correlated, and we would like to emphasize on a humanitarian perspective, a collaborative perspective, and something that overall would help the development.
Perfect. Thank you for your answer, Deputy. Now we're moving on to the Patriots. I would like to talk today about the Russia-Ukrainian conflict. As we all know, it's at its peak. Over 4 million Ukrainian citizens have taken asylum in European countries since 2022, and the Patriots have been showing support for taking in Ukrainian refugees. So could you help us understand what is different now with the Syrian refugee situation?
Well, the main difference is that Ukraine is in Europe, Syria is not. Therefore, it's not our aim to try to solve any conflict that it's not inside our borders. We are paying taxes for this European Union in order to protect ourselves, but we are not paying in order to protect other people who are old enough, mature, and responsible enough in order to protect themselves. We are trying to avoid being Eurocentric.
So then your human rights approach is not universal?
Neither it is for Muslim countries.
Regarding that, what will your next negotiation look like in the Middle East then?
Well, we are willing to let them negotiate among themselves. We support liberalism until the point that we have to support their sovereignty in order to support also ours. So they are sovereign, they are free of negotiating among themselves. It's up to themselves to decide.
Thank you, Deputy. Now moving on to the EPP. The President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, has been in charge since 2019 with a wage of around 32,000 euros per month. After 6 years of her starting this phase of her career, the situation in Syria and the fall of Bashar al-Assad will not have been possible thanks to the European Union.
Greens, not EPP.
Sorry about that. After your earlier intervention, it was clear that intellectualizing the Syrian conflict and suffering is not the way to go. So what is it that your party is currently going to give the education, worth infrastructure and stability that Syrians deserve?
So if I understand it right, it's about what we're going to do in terms of education in Syria, right? So from the Green Party and I think from the majority of the parliamentary committee on this subject, there is broad agreement that supporting education is vital. It is of the uttermost importance that future Syrian generations are able to grow and prosper. And in order to do this, we've been discussing and finding a lot of agreements, even though this is still to be finalized, on the possibility of a trust fund to support financially the redevelopment and reconstruction of Syria. And this trust fund is multifaceted and is directed to investment in different areas in which education is a fundamental part. Additionally, it also includes provisions for a Syrian-led civil society, which we believe is vital in order to support community cohesion and overcome the ethnic tensions that have characterized this conflict, which are also tinged with religious and sectarian divisions. And we want to ensure that any development aid that is provided by the European Union is tied to conditionalities, because we do not want to change one authoritarian regime for another one, and we want to ensure that a democratic transition is put into place to ensure that all groups have a voice and all groups are heard.
And what about those 14 million displaced Syrians? Will these measures also apply to them?
To displaced Syrians in Europe. So there is already a broad network of support that we believe as Greens should be expanded. This is not something we discussed during the committee session because we were focused on recommendations on what to do with regards to Syria, with regards to foreign policy. We were not discussing domestic policy. I can appreciate the fact that it's an interconnected issue, and as Greens I can reassure you on the fact that we think that education and youth are vital for our societies, and we strongly support measures to provide improvements in this area.
Well, thank you, Deputy. This is all from us.
Thank you very much for each deputy for your participation. And this is all. This has been all for this press conference for the Commission on Foreign Affairs. My name is Humberto Purua. This is INTERPOLITICA, and we will see you at the next press conference. Thank you very much.